Ah, the holidays. As they approach each year, they awaken within me predictable feelings. Among them, the compulsion to reflect and take stock. Therefore, as I find myself perched atop December once again, I feel compelled to use this vantage point to look back over the last year. My urge is to try to find patterns or seek a theme within the events that have unfolded. I suppose I do this as part of my never-ending quest to make sense of it all. But it occurs to me that this desire to indulge the illusion that I know what's going on is only a feeble attempt to feel secure in an unpredictable world. Through the years, I think I've come to grasp that any true pattern is beyond my understanding, or maybe there's no pattern to be understood at all. Instead, there is just reality meandering along, and that I can either work to understand it, or I can work to accept it. It's taken quite a while, perhaps too long, but I think it is finally sinking into me that it is acceptance that allows joy into my life. Unfortunately, in my case, it seems that acceptance is not a gift, but a reward. It is not a passive surrender, but instead an active pursuit that requires my effort. This begins by constant vigilance not to take myself too seriously. For instance, when I decide whether things are good or bad, I'm only a short hop from deciding what is right and what is wrong. It's harder work than it should be for me to suppress these judgments and simply accept what is. During this last year, I have often failed in this endeavor, but the rewards when I agree to let life unfold without struggle are many, not the least of which has been for me an increased ability to recognize the miracles that surround me. For the extended Crowe family, 2022 has been eventful. It is ironic that I would characterize it as a good year given my desire to avoid judgments. But this is, after all, a Christmas greeting. Let's just say for our family, things happened exactly as they were supposed to. Ashley continues her life in LA that she shares with Joe and their 3 dogs, with foster dogs now joining the menagerie. They recently purchased a house in Albuquerque that they are renovating to become rental property. Additionally, they are busy converting a Mercedes van that they recently bought into a traveling home away from home. Evan continues his practice of emergency medicine here in Ocala. And along with his girlfriend Morgan, they have traveled extensively during his time off. Lindsay continues teaching and has embarked on a virtual tour of the world's premier horse racing venues by cycling there on her stationary bicycle. She has pedaled over 1,500 miles thus far. John is continuing his work creating digital games, and son Will is enjoying his first grade experience. Maggie, a senior at Clemson University, recently served as director for Tigerama, a homecoming entertainment extravaganza that is one of the nation's largest student-run activities. Now that this year-long commitment has ended, she has shifted her emphasis back to her nursing studies. Sabrina moved to Tallahassee, where she is finishing a semester at the junior college affiliated with Florida State University. Her plans are to matriculate to the big school, and by all accounts she is well on her way to accomplishing this. Trevor continued his work on his ranch and building his horse training clientele. He recently returned from a mountain trip where he gave his clients' horses several weeks of practical training. In addition to living the cowboy life, he continues honing his skills as a farrier. Troy moved into an apartment in Ocala and continues his internet retail arbitrage business. He has more side gigs than I can count, watching dogs in houses and working weekends for a company that provides charity casinos to various organizations. He is a dealer on the weekends, but in a good way. Lynn's days are filled with running and tennis and our pups, Nellie and Tally. And in her spare time, she takes care of me. And I've continued to work full time. I figure it took long enough to get good at the job, so I might as well keep at it. Together, Lynn and I have been fortunate enough to journey to both new and familiar places, evidence of which is provided by the pictures you have just seen. Our big trip was to Slovenia for a bicycling tour, but we also traveled quite a bit closer to home in our post-COVID world. She and I both attended our 50th high school reunions this summer. God help us. So, looking back on 2022 without judgment, I suppose I can only say that it happened. But perhaps, because I accepted it more and judged it less, it was a good year. Oops, there I go again, making judgments. Oh well. Seek improvement, not perfection, I suppose. At any rate, the Crowe family wishes you a very merry holiday season and hope for you a new year full of acceptance and miracles.